All right, so this is the official statement on Sasha Banks and Naomi. When Sasha Banks and Naomi arrived at the arena this afternoon, they were informed of their participation in the main event of tonight's Monday Night Raw. During the broadcast, they walked to WWE Head of Talent Relations, John Laurinaitis' office, with their suitcases in hand, placed their tag team championship belts on his desk, and walked out. They claimed they weren't respected enough as tag team champions, and even though they had 8 hours to rehearse and construct their match, they claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they'd had matches with those individuals in the past with no consequence. Monday Night Raw is a scripted live television show whose characters are expected to perform the requirements of their contract. We regret we were unable to deliver as advertised tonight's main event. And now from last night, Friday Night SmackDown edition, which I did not catch this after the commercial break. Michael Cole has announced that Sasha Banks and Naomi, who have walked out of Monday Night Raw, have been suspended indefinitely. There will be a future tournament to crown the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, let's talk about this, all right? So, by the way, I'm going to make a bunch of, different editing and stuff like that to really give you guys my meat and potatoes on this. So, their reasoning with how they felt uncomfortable with the two workers, which I'm assuming it's it's gonna be someone like Becky Lynch and Asuka, which is complete bullshit because that's gonna be thrown out the window. Let's get that that false rumor out the way. One thing I do know, and this is like excuse for them not to beat around the bush to even say to admit it. But previously they were the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Why in the fuck are they competing in a 6-pack women's tag team? No. Why are they competing in a 6-women's pack challenge? Winner gets a shot at the Raw Women's Champion. And from what I've heard, they were going to book Naomi to pin either Asuka or Sasha Banks, which doesn't make any sense. Because you brought back Asuka just to get her to lose? Especially not to be pinned or something? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Now, was it unprofessional for them to leave out? Somewhat. It's unprofessional for them to say, we don't want to be in this match because we're the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, for them to be respected, they're right. They're not respected, but it's by the management. It's not the locker room. You have to be specific on saying that who you are being disrespected towards of. Disrespected from. You're disrespected from the management, the board of directors. You guys are, you two are in the position where it's like, you guys deserve better. You two should be saying to yourselves, we deserve new challengers for these WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. We should go up against a tag team that is going to be in a what is it called? A championship contenders match. So that way the winner, that's that beats them as the champ when they're the champions, gets a shot at Hell in a Cell. Something like that. But instead, they like to pull off the bullshit by saying, hey, we don't want to work with these two people when that's not the case. It's like, okay, think of this for example. Let's analogy. You have a girl, all right, that you like, but you don't want to admit to her that you like her, all right? She asks you or you ask her for her social media, whatever, just to be friends and some shit. Then you find out a couple hours, maybe a couple of days later, she blocks you. Then you start hearing rumors about why she blocked you and this and that. She'll tell you stuff like, "Oh, well, this guy was following me," or I think this guy really is trying to like creep around me and stuff like that, which is not the case. It's like the same thing with this shit. They're trying to beat around the bush. We're saying shit that's not even true, but was evident. We know that Sasha Banks and like Becky Lynch, they didn't have no real fucking beef. Yeah, it was kayfabe. Only on fucking TV when they feuded, but there was no real beef. Only beef that Sasha Banks had was the fans before. Before she, fucking, I don't know, like became a SmackDown Women's Champion or some shit. She didn't want to get an autograph with one of the fans. And she has the worst fucking body language. When she comes out, she starts doing a little dance and shit or whatever. You can see her have a smiley face to come out like she's gonna win. But when she's gonna lose, she has that resting bitch face where it's like she dance, she looks sad, or she looks mad, and like you can tell she's gonna lose. It's terrible. And I think maybe like 2 days when this was announced, not this post right here, but the Monday Night Raw departure, she was in a car with Snoop Dogg's son, and that was it. WWE doesn't want anything to do with these two. They already removed Sasha Banks and Naomi from the WWE roster list. They removed them off of the superstars list on the website. Especially Naomi. And Naomi, as far as I heard, she's already removed the WWE Twitter handle. Like, you know, when it says like Naomi WWE. Yeah, she removed that shit. She removed it. And as a matter of fact, Sasha Banks, she's already unfollowed a lot of WWE superstars. Roman Reigns and the chairman of WWE, Vince. They're done. They are done. I remember talking about this in a couple Twitter spaces that this shit was how it's going to go down. By the way, guys, I'm going to give you guys a timestamp on a comment section down below where to skip past this, the part of me just reading all the bios so you guys can get to my quick thoughts on that. But yeah, man, like, it's the biggest news from WWE, not just wrestling, because there's more news in wrestling to cover than just this. But as a company, this is the biggest news to come out. And like I said, I think this shit has something to do with them being thrown in the fucking tag team, and they didn't like how the result was going to come up, so they had to fucking flip the script and had Adam Pearce, the general manager, talk to Becky Lynch just so that way she can try to be in character as much as possible in order to react with the heelness, in order to actually be appalled or surprised or shocked. Like, how was she getting a one-on-one with Asuka? And I'm glad they went that fucking route, because the original route fucking sucked. And it's like they keep jumping through all these hoops, but it's like at the same time, you don't need to do that shit. I heard so many fucking like concept ideas from how she, what was gonna happen when she wins it and goes up against, when Naomi is gonna go up against Bianca Belair. I said, bro, she does not need to do that shit. Like, don't try to pull a fucking Bailey, because she doesn't need it. She's had it like probably like once or twice. Naomi's a good talent, but she doesn't have the star power. She doesn't have the star power compared to Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, as of right now, she's probably going to be back on the Star Wars franchise. wherever she goes in her career, I wish her nothing but the best of luck in her future. People are speculating saying she's gonna go over All Elite Wrestling as Mercedes Banks or Mercedes. Like, I don't know, and I really don't follow her like that. But like I said, I got nothing but the best for these two in their future, and it was possibly gonna be a female member to the bloodline, but now that's just gonna go out the window. Guys, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments down below. I'll give you the timestamp. Skip past my rambling about this to my thoughts, and see you guys next time for more WWE news videos.